and welcome to another episode of the Marco Podcast.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Wednesday episode. On today's episode, we are going to talk about free advice. And so, before I get into the episode, I just want to say that there's a difference between someone asking you questions about your business because they're genuinely interested in it or just curious as to how business is going, or someone asking you questions because they're trying to pick your brain. In today's episode, I'm going to actually talk about a true story that happened to me several times before I finally caught on to what was going on. There's a person that I used to interact with on like a monthly or like every other month basis. And they knew about my craft business that I did the shirts and the cups and the coasters and all of that, the tote bags and everything. They would always say, "Oh, we really need to work together. We need to work together. Like, let's pool our resources together. And I need these items for my business." And so they would start telling me, like the first time they were telling me all the items that they wanted to get for their business. Being a new business owner, I'm thinking, okay, great. This is going to be awesome. This is going to be a big order. And then on top of that, I'll get exposure. If I do good for them, then they'll refer me to their friends. And then I'll start getting more orders because another thing that I wanted to do with my craft business is I actually wanted to work with other small businesses and provide merch and branding items and stuff like that for them. And I wanted to have a couple that I just had like a contract with that I would provide their stuff with them. So I was really excited. And I was like, oh, this is going to be like my first small business contract with me doing stuff for their business. I'm just super excited about this. I'm sharing ideas with them. I'm looking up prices. I'm looking up materials, everything, giving them prices about how much I could possibly charge for it, telling them what we can do with it. You name it, I'm like sitting there doing it. And what comes of this? Nothing. This happened like twice with the crafting business. And then when I started the virtual assistant business, I was talking to them about it and what I plan to do with it, how I plan to help people with the virtual assistant business. And they was like, "Oh, that's really cool because I want to do some event and I have some other ideas for stuff that I want to do. I just don't have the time to do it. And I'm just not that creative to like think about." Once again, I'm super excited. I'm thinking about all the possibilities. I'm like planning, organizing. This is my wheelhouse. As I told y'all before, if you want to get me excited, tell me you got something for me to organize or something for me to plan. And I'm already looking up stuff before it's coming out of your mouth. Just excited about the possibilities. And I'm like, okay, great. I just started to start the business. Again, I'm just thinking about the exposure, the potential, like the connections and the contacts and stuff that I can make from it. Once again, I'm sitting there and I'm oversharing and I'm looking up stuff and I'm like, okay, we can do this, you can do that, you can go this place, you can get that, like just oversharing. What comes from it this time? Absolutely nothing. I'm like, okay, cool. Again, telling me all the ideas that they have, all the stuff that they want to accomplish. I'm sitting here taking notes, writing stuff down. I'm giving out ideas. I'm giving them advice on not giving them advice. I'm like advising them on what I can come up with a monthly, like how much I would charge them per month. And I would get back to them once I calculated like everything that they wanted me to do. I could give them a package for it. And so the first thing out of their mouth was, "Don't break my pockets now." So I go home, I come, I just kind of like laughed it off or whatever. And so I go home and I sit down and I come up with a proposal and I send the proposal over. Like the same day that we talked about this, or either the very next morning, I sent it over to them. I hear absolutely nothing from them. A week and a half later, I get a text from them and they're telling me how busy they've been and that unfortunately they don't have the budget for my role. Basically just telling me that my prices were too high for what they wanted. I was going to charge them $500 a month for what they wanted. And this was actually a very low price. I'm going to tell you what they wanted me to do. They wanted me to respond to Facebook messages and comments, to respond to emails, follow up with their customers, update their website, update their client database, help them with events, to help them get their business organized. There was a couple of more things that they wanted. And I was going to do all of this for $500 a month. When I tell you that in the virtual assistant industry, cheap in the virtual assistant industry, if they had reached out to absolutely anyone else about that, that would have started off at a minimum of $1,500 minimum. And it wouldn't have even been, it might not even have been all of those things, because some virtual assistants are like, hey, this is all that I do. So they may just respond to Facebook messages and emails. They may handle that aspect, but they're not going to touch your website. So now you need somebody else to maintain your website, or vice versa. And they said that that wasn't in their budget for $500 a month. Oh, okay. And so at that point, I finally realized what was happening, because this wasn't the first time that I had given a price to the person and they told me that they couldn't afford it. The person would sit there and pick my brain constantly, because I realized that whenever we got together, this person was always asking me about my business and what I had going on in my business. Like, I never brought up my business. It was always them bringing it up. And because I get so excited about stuff, and I love to, like I said, I love to be creative. I love to plan. I love to organize. And so just talking about it, it makes me so excited, and I can just go off on a tangent and talk about it forever. Once somebody tells me something that they're trying to do, or an idea that they have, the wheels in my head start to turn. I'm like, oh, they can do this, they can do that. And I just go. And this person picked up on that, and they realized it. And so they were basically using me to pick my brain for free. And then when it came down to a price, it was, oh, I can't afford that. Even though this same person is the same one that's charging $500-$600 for their services, constantly changing their prices. This person also, just charging astronomical amount of money for their services, and never offering discounts or anything like that. And they were one of the people that I was talking about in the other episode that was like, oh, people just don't want to pay money for stuff, blah, blah. But then when it comes down to them paying money, all of a sudden my prices are too much for it. So I finally just realized, I'm like, they're trying to pick my brain for free. I'm not letting them do that. So the next time that I saw this person, and they was like, it's like, oh, how's everything going with your business? I was like, I don't really want to talk about it. And they was like, oh no, what's going on? What's happening? I was like, yeah, I don't want to talk about it. Like, let's talk about something else. Because I was like, I'm no longer going to allow them to pick my brain for free, because that was how was your business was an intro into, okay, what can I get in now to pick your brain? And I finally caught on to that. So it's just really important that you just don't give away your services. Like they say, why buy the cow when you can get the milk for free? So if you just notice that every time you're with someone, they're always talking about working together, or that they have all these ideas that are centered around the business that you have and how y'all need to work together, or how they know somebody that would be perfect for somebody that would be a perfect client for you, and just gassing you up. But then you realize that nothing ever comes from it, or that every time you try to take the steps towards actually making this happen, it's always an issue. There's always some type of roadblock or something like that. Just be careful with it and watch yourself, because this person's not interested in working with you. This person is trying to get the blueprint and the foundation of what you do, so that they can either, one, go out and do it themselves without having to pay anybody, or so that, two, they can go share it with somebody who they know isn't going to charge them, and they can just get it for free like they want it to. So just keep these type of conversations with people just business free. Like, I'm not saying that you don't have to talk to them anymore, or you don't have to be around them. You can still talk to them. You can still hang out with them, just whatever. Just keep it business free. And if it does somehow, if they do keep like bringing up business and keep like asking you about ideas, or talking about like working together, if they keep saying, oh yeah, let's work together, we need to work together, just be like, okay, yeah, I'd be happy to book a consultation with you. But today I'm just chilling. I'm not talking about business today. So if you want to book a consultation, let's book a consultation. Or let them know I only offer consultations Monday and Wednesday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. And my consultation fee is $25. I would love to work with you, but let's discuss it more during my office hours. Just give them something like that. If you notice that this person still, they don't book a consultation, or they don't want to talk business with you during your office hours, then you know for a fact that this person was just using you to try to pick your brain. Just be careful about giving away your information and what you're trying to accomplish for free, because there are people out there like that will just, unfortunately, that will just use you and have no intents of using your services. Just be careful. All right.
Thank you for listening. Please make sure to follow and rate the podcast whenever you listen.